This story comes to us from The Sun. Couldn't come up with a more generic name for a news outlet there. Kazakh bodybuilder, actor, and self-described sexy maniac Yuri Tolochko announces his marriage to his beloved, a sex doll named Margo, on Instagram, November 25th, and shared with his followers their wedding video, in which the joyous couple, wearing a tuxedo and a full-length wedding dress, exchange vows and welcome friends and loved ones to a reception after the ceremony. The Sun reported. The groom identifies himself as pansexual, and able to fall in love with, quote, a character, an image, a soul, and said the two became engaged a year later after he rescued her from some unwanted attention in a nightclub. Okay, there's a lot of good stuff here.
There really is.
Quote, couples need to talk less and connect more, Tolochko said. Margo and I realize it takes more than words to have a conversation. End quote.
I bet I know what his favorite song is.
Holy shitballs. This guy married, with a full wedding ceremony, a plastic sex doll.
She's pretty. I mean, for a doll.
She is pretty.
You could see her on newsoftheweirdpodcast.com.
I would marry that doll.
If you want to look at
And if I had been in that
her.
nightclub, I would have given her a little unwanted attention.
Gross.
I mean, okay, let's start at the beginning. He meets her in a nightclub. He sees her getting some unwanted attention from some ruffians, some uncouth.
Some assholes with ties around their heads. Like,
Right,
oh,
exactly.
Yeah,
Probably some frat
party.
boys just there on vacation
Mm-hmm.
from Fort Lauderdale.
And keep in mind, he knows what these guys are thinking because he describes himself as a sexy maniac.
Right, but he's got some class.
Right,
and he has
he's
a
a
little
classy
bit of
guy.
restraint. He knows how
Yeah.
to treat a lady.
No,
you can
for
be a
sure.
sexy maniac, but you don't just like grab girls in public. So these guys are probably throwing drinks on Margo. They're squeezing her plastic boobs. Maybe they're like pulling off her little bikini, looking at her jugs. They might even be fondling her genitalia, and that was it. Yuri had enough.
I doubt she has genitalia. Oh, but wait, do these sex dolls
she
have?
has.
I'm not.
They better. They better. You finally shows up in its coffin. You're like, there's no genitals on my sex doll.
It's coffin.
Hello, China. Let's go ahead and you can just send me the knife.
You're right.
I'll install it myself.
I bet it has like a fleshlight.
It has
opening.
Totally. It has its own. It probably has a series of attachments and orifices that you can add on. All kinds of.
Just
things.
like a real woman. What's a pansexual? Is that like a Peter Pan thing? What is that?
I think he's
hot.
hot for bread, right? I mean, pan is the
Yikes.
Spanish word for bread.
No, but I what is it again? Pansexual means like you, like
It means basically you can love anything and anything.
What's love got to do with it?
It's anything.
It's sexual.
A character, an image, a soul.
You're like sexually attracted to anything.
Anything. It just lets you off the hook for being into anything. Like I could fall in love with a shovel and be like, ugh. And he's like, hey, if you're pansexual, that's cool. If you're just regular sexual, if you're just like heterosexual, forget it. You can't love that shovel.
Boring.
But if you're like me, if
Yeah.
you're different, then you can love anything. You can love a scrap of computer code.
So he falls in love. I mean, I guess that's helpful. Do all men who have sex with sex dolls identify as pansexual then? Or no, because I mean, she looks like a woman.
Yeah.
And a very nice looking, she's a very nice lady, Margo. She seems nice.
She doesn't say
talk.
much.
Yeah,
but she's still pretty fine.
I feel like a lot of men would enjoy.
She's always DTF.
Always DTF.
Always.
Like she's not like, ugh,
She's never like, I don't think so.
I'm tired.
She's like,
I'm not done reading this article.
I'm sleeping. We already did it this month. You're gross. Take a shower.
I wonder, I mean, okay. I have a lot of questions about this guy. He's a bodybuilder and an actor. I wonder if he's been in anything. I don't recognize his face.
No. This guy's in like direct to video Chechnyan movies that we probably don't have much access to.
Oh, like you would need to get him on what do you call those? DVN or
Right.
whatever? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is that? It's like when you go in another
VOD?
country. Yeah, no, like when you have to like undo your browser. It's like encrypted for different countries, and then if you want to watch something from another country, you gotta DPN. It's something like that. I don't know.
VPN?
Sure.
VPN.
DTF.
She's DTF over the VPN.
Yeah, she is. So he's from Kazakhstan, which is near Afghanistan.
Yeah, it's one of the stands.
One of the stands.
Mm-hmm.
He's a self-described sexy maniac.
I'm a sexy maniac.
That just sounds to me like he's probably
it's a huge perv.
Groper and a perv, yeah, and like probably not a great guy.
Mm-hmm. But he's an actor too, so he's got that little bit of arrogance and that sort of like self-obsession that he's like, I have a career going. Like,
I bet
I'm like a real thing. I'm the real deal.
I bet he's like a love bomber, like those narcissists that you meet a guy and they like
a love bomber.
It's a thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, they like bomb you with like attention and like compliments and like they make you think you're like this has never happened to me. This happens to some friends of mine. And I read an article and
producer Sarah is nodding her head.
Yes.
Do you know about love bombers?
Yeah, it's a thing. And then so what they do is they get you all like, oh my God, I met the man of my dreams. He's amazing. Yeah, and then he starts in with the beating and or like emotional beating, physical beating, whatever.
Or I thought that you were going to say that's when he started asking you for money. That he's
or that
ready.
Or that.
He's like, I've got these investments I need to cover, and I just need $10,000 in cash, and then I'm going to get so rich.
You're talking about the Tinder swindler? That guy was a love bomber.
Yeah.
Yes. Like made those girls feel like, ooh, yes, this guy, I found the one. He's so amazing. He's rich. He's handsome. He took me on his private jet, and he is so nice to me. And then he'll start with the like, you fucking bitch.
You plastic slut.
Yeah, I don't want you to talk to any of your friends anymore.
I don't talk at all.
You look fat in that dress, like that.
I was the same weight that I was made in the factory. Why are you treating me this way?
So I don't want to make any assumptions about this guy because he seems like a lovely gentleman, but I bet he's a love bomber.
He sure does.
And I bet he's a murderer.
I mean, can I just say, like, just taking like zooming out a little bit, this is the future of romance in this world.
You had to zoom out because you were zoomed into Margo's,
right on Margo's jugs.
Yeah,
I was just like right in there.
The rest of us are just looking.
This
at the
this is exactly what the future of like loneliness is going to look like on this planet. It's going to be a bunch of lonely men who can't find wives, and they like have plastic doll. I mean, it's called teledildonics is a real field. Teledildonics is like the field of like internet haptic feedback where like computers can like basically sort of jerk you off over the internet.
What?
Yeah. So, okay, another statistic that I happen to know about. Like because of all the communist like policies that were in place over the last 40 years, parents could only have one child. They always yes. opted for boys.
Yes.
So now you have 50 to 100 million extra men who are now grown who cannot, under any circumstances, find girlfriends. There are no girls for them to love. Like if they're not rich, they're not in Beijing, they're not, tech wealth,
they just
Alibaba.
Don't exist.
They're just like
they were all aborted.
I just live. Well, the women aren't there.
Yeah.
But the women who are there have their choice of literally anyone, and they're like, I want somebody rich and sexy. I don't want some like dirty booger eating farmer. I want somebody real. So these men are super lonely. Like if you ever wanted to like create a scenario where a third world war would be a very real possibility, just get 100 million Chinese men who can't find dates.
Good news. We already have that.
Yeah, we have that already. But anyway, this is exactly where the future is going. These men are going to be married to like plastic dolls.
Yeah.
They'll be in love with software. They'll be obsessed with video games.
Yeah.
I think I read an article like that like the Chinese grandmothers who live in these villages are like, and their mothers, these men's mothers are like, what did I do? I failed. I completely failed. My son never left. He lives here. He's like a child. I still take care of him.
Yeah.
Who's going to take care of me? Where's my daughter-in-law for me to get to know and love? Like, I hate this kid and I need him dead.
This took a depressing turn, and I think we need to move on to a story from KTIV called Bogus Dude.
Wait, we're just walking away from my story? I was just getting fired up.
I don't want to talk about Third World War or fucking population problems.
Let's just talk about Yuri.
Chinese nuking us because they want our women. What?
Let's just talk about Yuri wiping down Margo after a good sesh. He's got a bottle of 409 and a chamois
my
closet.
God. Okay. Jays.
Like what you hear, you can listen to more episodes everywhere podcasts are distributed, and you can also find us on the web at newsoftheweirdpodcast.com.